for storms in the Atlantic Basin. The National Hurricane Center does not control the naming of tropical storms. Instead, there is a strict procedure established by the World Meteorological Organization for Atlantic hurricanes. There is a list of male and female names which are used on a 6-year rotation. The only time that there is a change is if the storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name on a different storm would be inappropriate. These are the names of storms for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season: Arlene, Brett, Cindy, Dawn, Emily, Franklin, Gert, Harold, Idalia, Jose, Katia, Lee, Margot, Nigel, Ophelia, Philippe, Rena, Sean, Tammy, Vince, Whitney. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
In 1953, the United States began
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, Prime Minister Davis weighs in on pending issues with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Plus, Carnival Cruise Port prepares to begin construction on its vertical pier. And the yacht storage facility in Abaco opening its doors for the first time since Hurricane Dorian. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, the Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament in North Abaco is expected to be arraigned in the Magistrates Court in New Providence on sexual assault and threats of death charges. Preliminary reports indicate that around 7:30 p.m. on Friday, April 7th, 2023, a 35-year-old female of Esibul Highway reported the incident to police that she was sexually assaulted and threatened by 48-year-old Kirk Cornish. Since then, the story has made headlines across the Bahamas. Our Remiko Knowles is live on the ground in Abaco tonight with the latest. Remiko, what can you tell us?
New developments revealed into the claims of sexual assault against North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. Now, this all started back in April when a woman known to the North Abaco MP presented herself to police and filed a complaint against him for sexual assault. Those claims prompting police to open an investigation into the matter. 2 weeks after that complaint was filed, Cornish presented himself to police in Grand Bahama along with his lawyer for questioning and was later released. We also understand that Cornish is expected to appear before the courts sometime this week. That is also a latest development. We will keep you posted on that. Live from Abaco, Remiko Knowles, back to you in studio.
Thanks, Remiko. Well, in other news, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis expressing concerns over what he perceives as a lack of positive progress in the dealings with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. His remarks came during a recent interaction with the press where he was asked about the latest developments regarding the GBPA and unpaid invoices sent to the organization. Simone Davis is standing by at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Simone, what's the latest?
If you remember a few months back, the Prime Minister Philip Davis accused the Grand Bahama Port Authority of sidestepping its financial obligations, specifically in terms of reimbursing the government for public service costs in Freeport. Despite being sent invoices, it was reported that the Port Authority failed to meet its financial obligations. Now, months later, we asked the Prime Minister, have those invoices been paid?
I have to ask my Attorney General where we are, but we are committed to ensuring that the Grand Bahama Promise is lived and fulfilled.
The nation's leader previously declared his administration's perception that the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, which was once a cornerstone of Grand Bahama's prosperity, is no longer effective, according to his government's evaluation. And while speaking on the developments of the GBPA to date,
I don't think there's been any positive progress on the part of the Port Authority.
However, the PM reaffirmed his administration's dedication to fulfilling the Grand Bahama Promise.
We will not relent until we put in place a proper pathway to fulfilling those promises.
Now, despite the ongoing disagreements between the government and the Port Authority, the Prime Minister is standing strong in his commitment to improve the situation. This is a notion that the Port Authority also agrees to do. Live for the Bahamas Night, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis. Back to you in studio.
Thanks, Simone. Meantime, it is expected to be the largest Caribbean destination Carnival Cruise Port and one of the greatest investments on Grand Bahama. The $200 million Carnival Cruise Port project continuing to take shape as officials reaffirm their commitment to Grand Bahama Island. Vice President of Destination Operations at Carnival Corporation, Juan Fernandez, confirms that the reopening date for the cruise port is still mid-2025 and that the next move is to begin construction for the vertical pier. Julana Thompson-Everest has more in this report.
The dredging for the cruise port has been completed and the ground has been elevated to 15 feet. Now up next is the construction of the pier, and Vice President of Destination Operations Juan Fernandez say that the team is only waiting for the sediments on the ground to be compacted before the next phase.
So now we're working on the design for the pier, and then we'll start the build. And we also have an RFP out to the market for the landside contractor, so for the actual construction. So that's pending the award right now. We got a lot of interest in that RFP. So sometime in the next 8 weeks, we're going to be awarding that.
Fernandez noting that the contract for the pier design and construction has already been awarded to Solitange Baki and says that the commencement for the construction will begin this year.
The design is already started for both the pier and the landside. You're going to see a lot of movement starting in December. We're moving internally in terms of design and getting everything ready, mobilizing, pre-ordering the equipment. But the actual, when you'll see equipment on the ground, when people will see what a lot of people consider movement, you'll see that towards December of this year.
He is noting that he is aware of Grand Bahamians being eager about seeing more work being done, but he says that the operation is moving in stages and they want the construction to be done properly so that the port can also be hurricane ready.
I can't give you an answer on that yet. We'll know more once we finalize the design, and then we'll be ready to share some numbers in terms of the both the pier and the construction side.
When asked on the number of persons employed for the construction of the pier, he said that the decision has not been made yet.
I can't give you an answer on that yet. We'll know more once we finalize the design, and then we'll be ready to share some numbers in terms of the both the pier and the construction side.
Fernandez and his team will be visiting Freeport on Wednesday for an update on the Grand Bahama Port Authority retail operation and is inviting the public to attend for a question and answer session. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Julanda Thompson Everest.
Meantime, the island of Abaco continuing to rebuild since Hurricane Dorian ravaged the island in 2019. Bay Breeze Marina and Storage Yamaha of Abaco officially opening its doors to a brand new 30,000 square foot indoor storage facility in Dundastown, Abaco. The development marks a significant stride forward after the disruption of operations. Tonight, our Rumiko Knowles give us an up-close look into this multi-million-dollar boat storage facility.
4 years ago, their operations was brought to a screeching halt due to Hurricane Dorian. After investing nearly $5 million, officials at Bay Breeze Marina and the Storage Yamaha facility has opened the doors to its new 30,000 square foot indoor storage facility on Abaco. It is believed to be one of the biggest rebuilds on the island since the passing of Hurricane Dorian.
I would say that we're coming back, but we're still not at what we were.
Office manager Leah Lowe says after Hurricane Dorian, they shut down completely and had to reorder their entire inventory that was on the island before the hurricane hit.
They had some of the pieces to be able to put up this storage facility on the dock when Dorian hit. Obviously, Dorian took all of that out. And after Dorian, we started to move to put it back, but obviously COVID slowed that down as well. And we opened officially last month.
Officials boast of Bay Breeze Marina being the first true indoor storage facility for boats in the Bahamas.
I think it's just an improvement from what it was, just because obviously we can offer the indoor storage, which to my knowledge is not something that anywhere else in Abaco offers, but also just the service that we provide for the Yamaha product. It's just, everybody in Abaco needs a boat, so we're here to make sure that can happen.
And now that the crawfish season is open and the hurricane season upon us, there couldn't be a more opportune moment to provide a space for both boat storage and engine repairs. However, Lowe explains that following Hurricane Dorian, they don't anticipate storing many boats during hurricanes.
You know, for anyone personally in Grand Turtle Key, they like to put their boats in the mangroves, basically just secure them to the mangroves and put them as deep down in there as they can, just because there's not a lot you can do in a hurricane.
Now in the near future, officials say they plan to add 2 bedrooms along with 2 waterfront bungalows with dock access. Live from Abaco for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. My cameraman is Jacoby Thomas. I'm Rumiko Knowles.
Good job, Rumiko. The Lucaya Service Company issuing a statement on the discovery of oil particles near the beach shoreline. LASCO says they are aware of the recent discovery of trace amounts of oil particles in the nearby shoreline and embankments near Fortune, Churchill, and Spanish Main beaches. They say the matter is currently under investigation and is being contained and remediated with the utmost level of urgency. LOSCO is in communication with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, the government's Port Department, the Grand Bahama Port Authority's Environmental Department, and the relevant agencies and stakeholders for ongoing monitoring and will ensure the integrity and protection of the island's natural resources. And some sad news to report tonight. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding this island's latest traffic fatality. The victim is an 84-year-old of Abaco Drive, Hawksbill. Police say the traffic accident occurred shortly before 1 p.m. on Saturday, August 5th, 2023. It involved a gray Honda Accord driven by the deceased and a black Chevrolet Cruze driven by a male. The driver of the Honda Accord was traveling south along East Mall Drive, and the driver of the black Chevrolet Cruze north along East Mall Drive when the two crashed. Police had to use the jaws of life to extricate the victim from the vehicle. Both drivers received serious injuries and were taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital. However, the 84-year-old succumbed to those injuries on Sunday, August 6, 2023. Tonight, the male driver remains in serious condition at the Rand Memorial Hospital. Police investigations continue into this incident. And another pillar of the Grand Bahama religious and business communities has fallen. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service Fred Mitchell releasing a statement on the passing of Kenneth Simonet. Simonet, his active work in numerous churches throughout Grand Bahama is well noted. Mr. Simonet was a top brass partner in Doris Simonet Holdings, one of Grand Bahama's most successful and prominent business umbrellas. He was intimately involved in the leadership of KFC, Pizza Hut, and his personal signature, Mr. Baker. Doris Simonet, founded by his in-laws, the late Hayward Cooper and family, remains a Bahamian-owned iconic business model. Kenneth Simonet was flat-out good people, a kind-hearted national treasure who contributed much to the creation of employment in our country. The statement continues, his is a wonderful Bahamian story. A Bimini and a Luther boy who made good on his baking skills, fell in love with his teenage girlfriend Emile, and expanded his horizons by way of his creative skills, unmatched commitment, hard work, and by all means his love for God and people. While he lost his battle with his illness, we pray his transition proves victorious in a better place. We thank him for his tremendous service to the Grand Bahama community. The statement concludes, on behalf of Party Leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip E. Davis, the officers and members of the Progressive Liberal Party, we extend heartfelt condolences to his wife Emile, his children, the entire family, colleagues, and staff. Stay with us. When we come back, hear why hundreds of residents traveled east on August Monday. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's back to school with Bellevue Gifts and Supplies. Shop now and get huge savings on composition books, 15% off textbooks, workbooks, school supplies, and all teachers' aids. Bellevue Gifts and Supplies, Queens Highway, making going back to school more affordable.
The School of Amar Rock will breed brilliant minds that will change the Bahamas' future for the better.
I feel like Battle of the Brains acts as a catalyst towards the career you want to pursue once it falls under STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics subjects and topics. And it's great to grab opportunities like these to help you.
I believe the Battle of the Brains allows a great opportunity for us STEM students to come together in a friendly, competitive environment to test our knowledge and to learn something new.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
So put me together, break me apart again. No doubt about
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. August Monday is usually a time when East End descendants come together in High Rock for the annual Sea Fest. The cultural event serves as an economic boost for the small community of High Rock in East Grand Bahama. Our J. Philippe was there on the holiday. Here's that report.
All roads led to High Rock, East Grand Bahama for the 17th annual High Rock Sea Fest. Residents and descendants from East End made their way to the grounds to participate and experience this cultural festival.
High Rock Sea Fest is the best festival.
Some drove their cars while others were transported by bus to the Sea Fest. The event started with the official opening ceremony, and from there it was time for the watermelon eating contest. The vendors came and bought all their belongings, hoping to walk away with a profit.
I love the setup. I love the people that came by. A lot of people stopped by, took an interest in what I had, especially the candied nuts, because it was something that's not indigenous to the Bahamas.
So far, it's going pretty good. You know, for the first time, I like it.
We take care of all the kids, all the streets, all the toys. And we are happy to be and patronize this event, the Sea Fest today.
Visitors came from as far as California to experience the Sea Fest in High Rock.
I'm having a great time. So what I really like about Bahamas, and especially here, is you can just tell the local vibe, the Bahamian spirit's alive. This festival's really nice. It's beautiful. Everybody's really friendly. We've had a fantastic time on our trip.
Good to see that the community is trying to get back together and rebuild to where it was. And then, like you said, people are smiling and a little more, more happier and stuff like that.
Even the politicians found some time to mix and mingle.
This is huge for the residents of East Grand Bahama. I mean, last year it was okay because we were kind of recovering. This year, clearly our feet are on the ground. This is one of those community events that I so enjoy. It's one of those community events that are very, very special. A special one because it's able to pull the entire community together.
What's a festival without the support of paparazzi Lyndon Lundy?
This is one of the places that I always enjoy because it's more down-home feeling, more upbeat, like for settled people, if you want to put it that way.
Chairman of the High Rock Sea Fest could not be more proud.
All I can say is, thanks to everybody who come, who support, who advertise, who donate, who sponsor. All I can say is thanks to everybody out there.
It was all fun in the sun at the 2023 High Rock Sea Fest. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm J. Philippe.
Thanks, Philippe. In other news, the Rotary Club of Lucaya is partnering local humanitarian Lyndon Lundy as they launch their back-to-school uniform drive, just in time for back-to-school season. Club Service Director Billie Jane Ferguson says the drive not only relieves stress from the back-to-school shopping, but it's a great opportunity to give back to the community.
Our Community Service Director, past President Anika Johnson, has spearheaded or put together, in partnership with Lyndon Lundy, a clothing drive. And this time the clothing drive will be able to assist students. So we're asking for uniforms from all schools on the island, which will be able to help from East End to West End. Of course, we'll be putting other goods along with those items, but for right now, we're asking the community to partner with us to give back to those students.
Inspired by past personal experience, Lundy felt it necessary to collaborate with the Rotary Club of Lucaya to assist those who may not have the means. He also outlines the process of dropping off the uniforms. The deadline for drop-offs is August 18th.
I started back, and I think when I was a little young boy, and I had one shirt, one pants to go to school, and I had to wash that every day. So now that I see an opportunity to help, I decided to jump in and just put it out there. Also, part uniforms came on board, and we're working with another initiative. We'll be collecting also brand new uniforms. And part uniform is utilizing their store to help us in this initiative, as well as giving back as well. They didn't say exactly how much they will, but they said that they will support us in this whole initiative. So you could just stop by Parts Uniform, buy a voucher, go in there and put it into Lyndon's name, and they will give you a receipt for whatever amount, from $25 to $1,000 if you want to.
Your Tuesday check on sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. It was a long holiday weekend, but sports did not stop. The YMCA held its Commercial League basketball playoff games, but the Grand Bahama Flag Football Association held its invitational tournament. Let's check it out. The women's championship game was a matchup between the visiting Paradise Games Wildcats out of New Providence and the home team Gold Diggers. But it was not much of a matchup, as the Wildcats dominated the Gold Diggers 32-0 to win the title at the Grand Bahama Flag Football League Invitational.
We played them the first game of the tournament, and we had a pretty good idea of what formation they run, which is a tight set. So we just planned the set to keep the edges and put the pressure on the quarterback. Once we did that, we know we'd come out with victory.
Danielle Zonical and Leah Trico made key plays for the Wildcats in the win.
I thought that both sides, it was a competitive game. I must say that our team, we expected to have more female teams, in particular from here in Grand Bahama. We weren't able to see as much as we did during the previous year. So in the future, we hope that more teams would come out and show that support, as well as the competitives as well.
I was a little disappointed with the way it ended, how they decided not to continue the game, but other than that, it was okay.
On the men's side, the regular season and national champions, Sky's the Limit Rock Boys fell short to Coca-Cola Knights 21-14. The Knights saved their best performance for the year when it mattered most at the end of the season. Switching gears now in sports, the squash club hosted kids from the Urban Renewal Camp.
At about 2 more weeks ago, and hopefully what we're trying to do is that during this period we're hoping to try and at least get the kids who are part of this camp a little bit of a knowledge about what squash is all about. It's a kind of a game that not many Bahamians really know about, so it's a good opportunity for them to at least learn a new game.
If you become good at it, there are opportunities in the States, at colleges, etc., to get scholarships to play squash in some of the northern states where it's quite large. So it's a foundation to get the kids occupied and hopefully enjoying their summer vacation.
And finally, in sports scores from the YMCA Commercial League, Buckeye defeated UNESCO 70-60. Clemente Martin scored 16 points in the win for Buckeye to tie that series at 1 game apiece. In Game 2, Polymers defeated Pharmachem 70-49 to sweep that series 2-0. Ahmad Pratt scored a game-high 36 points in the win. Buckeye will now play UNESCO on Wednesday for a third and deciding Game 3. And that's your quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Hi, I'm Wes. I like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
John West Shoes is now open. Carmichael West, Nassau, behind Wendy's.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care.
We've invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
That's what I told her. Bring the whining thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wine and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is the beautiful Janelle M. Colley, who says she celebrates her birthday all month long. Janelle, we hope you have a great one, and we say thanks for always watching. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Raven Davis, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Parliamentary Secretary resigns. Fish stocks threatened. Nearly $10 million in drugs seized. And in sports, World Championship team named. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Months of speculation has ended. After mounting questions, police today released a 3-liner statement confirming that a 48-year-old Abaco man will be formally charged in connection with sexual assault and threats of death. ZNS News has since confirmed that the accused is North Abaco MP and Parliamentary Secretary Kirk Cornish. No further details were given, save that the arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. at a magistrate's court here in the capital. All this just in, new developments in this story. We join now our Altaviz Munnings, who comes to us live from the office of the Prime Minister, Cable Beach. Altaviz?
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. The Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, underscored in his statement today that he's being charged on allegations which he says are totally false.
Well, as expected, news quickly spread of the North Abaco MP's pending arraignment. As always, we have team coverage on the story. We pick up with our Romiko Knowles, who's on the ground. We'll have that story for you later in a newscast. In other news tonight, though, we're still a long ways of knowing whether a proposed Kenyan-led multinational security force will get off the ground. The Bahamas has given a conditional commitment to deploying more than 100 troops to the effort, but as reported, there are a number of hurdles that must be crossed before this force can mobilize. And as Corval Pyfrom reports, the issue is now fueling new fierce political debate here at home.
We expect Haitians to solve their problems, and we are here to support them in that effort.
Prime Minister Davis just recently clarifying the role the Bahamas will play in a proposed multinational security force on the ground in Haiti, a point later reiterated by National Security Minister Wayne Monroe.
As the Prime Minister said, this must be a Haitian crafted solution, and it has to be their desire for it to happen as well.
The multinational force has a number of stages to clear before anything can happen, and there are no specific timeframes in place for when or if any concrete steps to getting there will occur. Still, opposition leader Michael Pintard, who appears mildly in support of assistance to Haiti, wants more dialogue on the subject.
The Free National Movement believes that there has to be a solution in Haiti, and that this requires the entire Caribbean collaborating with respect to making this happen. We have yet to be briefed by the government on what their plans are and their intentions, and it is critical that they do so that we are in a position to make an informed decision about our position.
And now Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain also weighing in.
Sending 150 troops will do nothing for Haiti.
This administration has committed to sending 150 personnel to Haiti to assist with the Kenyan-led multinational force security operation. However, this makes no sense to Mr. Bain. He himself, a former law enforcement officer, says the Bahamas has no right there, and instead our attention should be focused here to protecting our country's borders.
They can't control the situation here in the Bahamas. Why would you send some of our reinforcements to Haiti where it's wasted? We need those 150 on our sea. We need them at our borders. We need them to process illegal immigration. We need them home, man. And we should not put our Bahamians at risk for another man's country.
But the government maintains any Bahamian involvement in Haiti will be minimal and low risk.
Our commitment, along with other Caribbean countries, is to lend assistance to ensuring that we bring peace and stability in Haiti.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, back to our top story tonight. We can tell you that the Prime Minister just moments ago released a statement on the matter on the future of North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish's employment with the government. Now, Altavis Munnings is live tonight from the office of the Prime Minister. Good evening.
Good evening, Makushla again, and good evening, Bahamas. The Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, underscored in his statement released today that he has been charged based on allegations which he says are totally false. Cornish declared to the people of North Abaco that he knows this is a very unwelcomed distraction, and he maintains that they deserve effective representation, and it is his responsibility to prove to them that he can serve them well, even as legal efforts to clear his name are underway. Cornish insists that the facts which emerged during the judicial process will prove his innocence, and he looks forward to ending the, quote, nightmare. The North Abaco MP declared that the facts will show that this is a case of hurt feelings, manipulated and exploited for political reasons and nothing more. Cornish concluded his statement that he believes the truth will set him free. Well, moments after the North Abaco MP issued a statement, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, delivered a statement of his own just moments ago. The Prime Minister confirming that he requested Kirk Cornish's resignation as the Parliamentary Secretary in the office of the Prime Minister in Abaco, and he's grateful for Cornish's service to the government and to the people of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister assures the people of North Abaco that new efforts to build opportunities and relief in their communities are on the way, and they will not be interrupted. Prime Minister Davis also verified that an independent director of public prosecutions has determined that there is sufficient evidence to bring charges against North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. He maintains that it's now up to the country's judicial system to resolve the outcome. Therefore, the Prime Minister says that he has no additional comment on the matter at this time, only to extend prayers to those suffering because of this matter. Reporting live outside of the office of the Prime Minister in Cable Beach for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Alto. Now, as indicated, we have team coverage, and that continues with our Romiko Knowles, who's on the ground in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, with reaction. Romiko, what can you tell us?
Well, Makushla, it is new developments revealed into the sexual assault allegations made against North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. Now, this all started back in April when a woman known to him filed a complaint of sexual assault against him. Those allegations prompting police to open an investigation, which resulted in him being called in for questioning 2 weeks after that complaint was filed. He was later released. Now, as time slipped through the hourglass, here we are now, live on the ground in Abaco, speaking with his residents, with some of his constituents about this latest development.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Those are the remarks coming from this resident of North Abaco sitting outside on her front step.
If he is wrong, he deserves to punish for his wrong. You know, but let the law take its course.
But there are those who share a different view.
I think he should resign.
Think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I mean, he's supposed to show sample, at least for the people, you know what I mean? Because if somebody else do it, he ain't like it.
Two men of North Abaco deciding not to appear on camera, but they did not hesitate to share their thoughts on the resignation.
As an individual, I don't like to see a man abuse his privilege and abuse women. So, like I say again, let the law take its course.
I figure if any minister has committed an offense against the Constitution or the House of Parliament Act, they should automatically resign themselves. They shouldn't have to be forced to resign. I mean, that's calling doing it the right way.
Another resident believes Bahamians should not be so quick to cast the MP aside.
I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, and I do wrong, but I feel, and then we could give him a next chance. That's what I did. That's what I say, try, because it's the devil will just be doing these things, but I'm not sure now.
Now, Cornish has only resigned from his post as parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. He will still serve as the Member of Parliament for North Abaco.
I think that's a good idea.
Why?
Because I feel like, it's slow going, but he would stick to his promises.
I think he should resign, but he shouldn't be able to get paid from the people's purse and has to resign his resignation because of some cause. I think whatever the judiciary says, I guess he's still innocent until proven guilty. But we know how the Bahamas go. You're guilty automatically until you're proven innocent.
Now, the major question is, how will this resignation affect the office of the Prime Minister here in North Abaco? That is what we will find out tomorrow as we are live on the ground. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Romiko Knowles. Back to you in studio.
Oh, once again, that's our Romiko Knowles. Thanks, Romiko. And as noted at the top of the newscast, North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish is set to be arraigned in a magistrate's court tomorrow here in the capital. In other news, the Bahamas Customs Department faces staffing challenges. Acting Comptroller of Customs Ralph Munro says the money-making agency is in need of more than 100 additional officers. The good news is that there will be recruitment soon, and Munro's been promised 2 cohorts of 60.
That in and of itself won't be sufficient, because you've got to look at customs not so much as New Providence only. New Providence, of course, is cash-strapped. Is strapped with staff, but you've also got to look at places like Exuma, Exuma probably can have as many as 20 to 25 officers as we speak. They only have 10. We've got to look at Eleuthera, again, growing rapidly. San Salvador, we just increased numbers in San Salvador only by 1, but that's, again, 25% increase. Abaco is understaffed. We need more at Abaco. We need more persons in places like Grand Bahama, and you name it, we need them. And so if you look at it, ideally, we can take literally 200 officers right now, and we'd probably be on even keel to start with.
Well, Monroe says there are several factors that contribute to the agency's existing staff problem that he's eager to see be remedied. He says they are probably working with 55 to 60 less people than they did in 2017.
That's because of attrition, through resignation, and of course, a few persons who would have died, 1 or 2 persons who've been transferred or who've been seconded to other ministries. And so our staff is literally 55 to 60% less than we were in 2017. Nonetheless, we are doing a dandy of a job.
Well, it goes without saying that local fishermen are counting on a hefty haul once those crawfish traps are pulled up. But days on end of blistering temperatures could very well impact their bottom line.
As our waters become warmer and warmer and warmer, we will see some movement in species, and some of those species can be crawfish that would take to move further up north to more temperatures of water that are more conducive to their living.
What this ultimately means is that the lucrative crawfish season could very well be short a few dollars this year, and the next if things remain unchanged. And again, it all goes back to the extreme heat wave that's warming oceans and really hurting seafood supply.
When the water quality changes or the water temperature changes, it gives off cues to nature for them to act in a certain way. And if those cues are now coming earlier, then you could possibly see spawning in premature species, etc. And so we're looking at changing the quality of fish and marine life that we have come to know. You may also catch fish that have less fat or less meaty tissue. You may now begin to catch different kinds of fish because as it becomes warmer, you may have a different kind of fish that would move into the marine ecosystem. So fishermen may begin to see not just the usual groupers and snappers.
What's even worse is that the intense heat is killing off fish stocks.
We have not seen the data yet because this last heat wave, for example, this last 30-35 days, it's just happening. And so we have early warning systems that we have deployed. We have scientists out in the fields monitoring these ocean stocks. We're working with the Department of Marine Resources and the Department of Meteorology to understand what changes are happening. And so very soon we'll be able to say exactly what this heat has caused with respect to fisheries stock or the health of the fisheries, the size of the fisheries, and the general marine environment.
Scientists say this has been the hottest summer on record in the last 100,000 years. Also to come, weekend drug bust probed. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by folk called Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Are you dreaming of the perfect summer getaway? Apply for a debt consolidation or personal loan to win an airline ticket to Paris, Miami, or New York. Win up to $2,500 in cash and more. For details, call 356-7764 for Nassau, 602-6811 for Freeport, 823-4374 for Abaco.
The Coalition of Independents political organization hoping to resuscitate the Keith Bell immigration controversy. This morning, several of the group's members, led by leader Lincoln Bain, delivered a letter requesting the appointment of a commission of inquiry to the office of the Governor General. There are any number of reported immigration irregularities against Immigration Minister Bell that lead the coalition to believe it's time for a commission to happen and for heads to roll.
We are hoping that justice will reign. We are also adding His Majesty to this information. We're writing this information to him and sending evidence to the king himself, and we are hoping that justice prevails. This is not against any individual. This is not an attack against Keith Bell. But if something is going wrong in the ministry, you must resign and remove yourself or be terminated. If they had taken the matter seriously, there would have been a termination or a resignation already. They do not take this matter seriously.
Bain and his team blasting the Davis administration, saying it's time the government demonstrated seriousness. ZNS News tried to question Immigration Minister Bell about the matter as he was leaving a church service to commemorate Fox Hill Day today. He waved us off and declined to comment. Well, a $2 million industrial agreement signed for members of the Water and Sewage Corporation. The 3-year agreement is retroactive to July 1st, 2022 and expires June 20th, 2025. Union President Montgomery Miller says the deal includes a number of components, including modernized job descriptions, enhanced annual assessments, better incentives based on performance, and a reduction in unjustified transfers.
There have been some challenges over the past at the corporation where we've seen what I would say less than beneficial movement of management employees, not adequate time, not adequate justification. I would leave it to you to determine and to draw conclusions as to why those things would happen. But I give the corporation and the stakeholders of the corporation great credit for taking steps to minimize and to reduce the prospect, because at the end of the day, the Bahamian people are trusting that technical professionals of the corporation will, over time, become expert in their subject areas, and we don't want to just move them around at whim and fancy. We want those, unless they have real performance challenges, they should continue carrying out their functions.
On hand for the signing, Minister of Works, the Honourable Alfred Sears, along with Labour Minister, the Honourable Keith Bell.
All staff, from the executives to the middle managers to the non-managers, will now have updated, modernized job descriptions and objective performance-based scorecards with regular engagement, coaching, training, and annual performance assessments. As I close, I note the significance of this event as it marks the first time in well over a decade that both unions at the corporation have industrial agreements with almost 2 years left to go.
Now to news from the police. The Emancipation Day holiday, not at all a good one for a New Providence family following news that their 42-year-old loved one had been shot and killed. The victim reportedly suffered injuries to the head. Police pegging down the time to around 6 a.m. Authorities say the Fernandez Street resident was found unresponsive in the front seat of a white Suzuki Swift in the area of Camacho Close, Marshall Road. EMS examined the man and found no signs of life. Investigations continue. Meantime, millions of dollars and thousands of pounds worth of drugs seized in the southern Bahamas this holiday weekend, only adding to the tally of illegal narcotics confiscated from the Family Islands this year alone. Altavis Munnings has the story.
It was exactly 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon when the United States Coast Guard chopper landed at Odyssey Aviation from Long Island's Stella Maris International Airport. And it only took a few minutes for a contingent of police officers to transport the suspected cocaine onto the tarmac. Here are the exact numbers. 480 kilos of suspected cocaine weighing 1,202 pounds with an estimated street value of $9.6 million. The drug bust unfolded when Long Island officers were tipped off shortly before midnight this past Sunday, August 6th, and searched a blue and white Piper Aztec aircraft on the tarmac in Stella Maris, where they discovered and confiscated 16 large crocus sacks of suspected cocaine.
As indicated, we do have 2 Bahamian males in custody. One is believed to be a 61-year-old and a 49-year-old. As you know, many of the crimes that occur within our country occur as a result of drugs and firearms. And so it is always good when our agencies can collaborate and work together to interdict these such drugs from coming into the country.
Now, this weekend's drug bust adds to the investigations into that 1 kilo of cocaine found in Eleuthera on August 4th, that $10.4 million drug bust in Mayaguana this past July, and the probe into suspected marijuana discovered in a home in Bimini back in June.
Marijuana is still the primary drug of choice being used here in country, but we see now an uptick in cocaine being smuggled. We've even seen the trend now because closer to you'll see like the holidays or when it's busy and some of the manpower resources are being used through the organization. We see that the drug smugglers try to use this opportunity to traffic drugs, but we'll continue to be relentless in the drug enforcement unit, and as long as we have the information, then we come in and we'll be arresting those persons who continue to traffic drugs in our Commonwealth.
Police grateful for the public's assistance in solving these drug finds, as in their view, it actually saves lives.
Many of our young men's lives have been spared because of the interdiction. And so we need members of the public to understand how important it is for them to collaborate and to provide that intelligence to your police department at all times. It is when we intercept drugs that we save lives, and we save the lives of our young men in particular that we see being gunned down on the streets freely.
Drug Enforcement Unit officers are also investigating a drug bust at Lynden Pinling International Airport Monday afternoon. They found 2 Americans, ages 41 and 34 years old, from the city of Philadelphia, allegedly with suspected marijuana at Lynden Pinling International Airport's departure lounge. An investigation into that matter also continues. Reporting from Odyssey Aviation for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Still on Long Island, where 3 female illegal migrants were found inside a Deadman Ski Villa Sunday. Acting on a tip, officers searched the villa around 8:30 p.m. and found the trio. They have been turned over to the Department of Immigration. Police have issued a photo of the vehicle allegedly used in the recent abduction of a 9-year-old girl. The car's color listed as white or beige, the type, a coupe, its make and model, unknown. As widely reported, the child was playing with friends outside her home when a man driving a white Nissan Skyline lured her inside the vehicle. She complied. In doing so, however, She was taken to an unknown location and sexually assaulted. The child was found in the area of Spikenard Road. As for the car, anyone spotting it should call the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2-911 or download the P3 Tips app. A memorial this evening ahead of former Police Commissioner Paul Farquharson's funeral service on Thursday. Our Lloyd Allen is standing by St. Gregory's Anglican Church, Carmichael Road. Lloyd?
A man who has dedicated his life to service, and for those who know him well, say he's gone too soon. This evening, a memorial service held at St. Gregory the Great Anglican Church, Carmichael Road, for former police commissioner, the late Paul Farquharson. Among the friends and family here to show their final respects is his former colleague and police press liaison officer, the Bishop Hewlin Hanna. Mr. Hanna, you've spent some time in your career working with Mr. Farquharson. Tell us a little bit about him.
Mr. Farquharson was legendary. Mr. Farquharson knew how to pull out of people qualities that they didn't even appreciate they had. He was a talent spotter, and not only that, he facilitated what he saw in you. You know, some people can talk a good talk and there's no follow through. Paul Farquharson was no such person. He knew what he saw in people. He was willing to take the chance. He took the chance on many of us, and today I believe that we are better and the country is better because of what he has done for us.
And a significant establishment of the Paul Farquharson multi-purpose building on police headquarters building, a significant honorary there for Mr. Farquharson. Tell us the story behind that.
Mr. Farquharson has done so many things in this for us that it was thought by the powers that be, including the government at that point, that a lasting memorial for him would be to name the Paul Farquharson Conference Center in his honor. It's a multifaceted facility, and he was instrumental in its construction. By the way, it was constructed by police officers and prison officers, and he was there from the beginning to the finish. And he was a person very, very quiet and unassuming. He didn't want such honor, but once it was, once he was encouraged to accept it, he accepted it. And today it is etched in the annals of the Royal Bahamas Police Force history, and of course the country, and the excellence with which we treasure that particular facility has his signature all through it.
And finally, Bishop, talk to us a little bit about his legacy. Obviously, he was honored during his life, but what do you think his legacy will be?
There are many, obviously, the infrastructure that he put in the police force, but I think, too, that the opportunity he gave so many persons to see themselves develop and to become prominent in the country. Many of us, many persons who perhaps by way of education may not have a terminal degree. You have doctors in the police force, you have persons who are well-lettered, persons who have left the service and have distinguished themselves throughout the country, even into politics. And so it's a legacy that will be left for many, many years to come. And then he chronicled the history of the force. All of this happened under his distinguished and outstanding leadership. I'm proud to be a product of Paul Farquharson.
Now, of course, this ceremony will continue for another hour at least, but tomorrow the public is invited for a final viewing of his body, and that begins at 12 noon. Reporting here from St. Gregory the Great Anglican Church, Carmichael Road, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. Makushla.
Well, thanks, Lloyd. Marcellus Hall now joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
All right, thanks, Makushla. Well, coming up in sports for tonight, Team Bahamas, well, they pick up a nice win. We'll also tell you how the IAAF World Championships team is all set. That's coming up in sports.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the ZNS New College Freshman Giveaway. For more information, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting was island hopping over this past weekend as he led a delegation to 2 regattas. The first was the 79th Rollville Regatta, held in honor of former Member of Parliament of Itzuma, the late George Smith. The second was the 67th Cat Island Regatta that was held in honor of the island's first Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis. While at the latter, Minister Sweeting spoke to the importance of regattas.
Regattas have a special place in the hearts of all Bahamians. They provide an opportunity for sailors to use their brains and their brawn to glide across the finish line and to hear the thunderous admiration of spectators. Regattas not only highlight sailing, but it also boosts the local economy, creating opportunities for local artists and craftsmanship to show their skills. Under the direction and leadership of the Prime Minister, regattas have been given a more pivotal purpose in the development of our country.
Prime Minister Davis, who shared similar sentiments, says regattas have produced world-class sailing competitors. A tradition, he says, will continue.
In sailing, it's all about knowing the ropes, and we want many more of our children to learn those ropes. So it gives me immense joy that Jude Sailing is now taking off in Cat Island, introduced here and other communities for the first time. Our young sailors represent our promise to the future. They are the custodians of our seafaring heritage. As they learn to navigate the waters, they'll also learn resilience, teamwork, and respect for nature. All essential qualities for the leaders who will also help our country sail into the future.
Officials have announced plans for a number of sailing academies throughout the Family Islands to further develop sailing as the national sport. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Kendia Smith.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
King Coop should go over here. The Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs got new services on my gateway for farmers and fishermen. Now I can get my farmland lease, my farmer's registration and license too. Take that, Ozzy. That's my cousin who always trying to one-up me, but I got him now.
That who? Not Ozzy, eh?
Well, who else?
Roy. Ozzy done get his crawfish trapping permit and he out to sea on Roy's boat.
Visit mygateway.gov.bs today.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force Reserve celebrating 58 years of service to country. The official recruitment of the first squad of reserves taking place in August 1965, encompassing 59 male officers who came from all walks of life, including mainly World War II veterans. This year's theme is Building Bridges, Uniting Communities. A service celebrating the anniversary was held on Sunday at Evangelistic Temple.
Since the first recruitment of 59 men, the Reserve Department has grown to more than 1,200 male and female officers. Our latest graduation of 109 recruits was in June of 2023. Today, Reserve officers can be found stationed at police stations all across our country. They are afforded the same privileges as regular officers when on duty. Reserves, I encourage all of you to continue to work successfully to achieve the mandate of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and in doing so, we will all create safer communities.
As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Vibrant heart of the Bahamas, a common loftier goal unites us all. A place where love and unity thrive, where world-class technology is accessible and affordable, connecting every generation. We believe in our heritage and the boundless potential that lies within us. We believe in Bahamians.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, and more reliable. Switch today.
I'm Corval Pyfro. East Grand Bahama continues to make an astonishing comeback since the devastation it suffered from Hurricane Dorian 4 years ago. BTC, which has stood with that community through it all, was back on the ground recently to announce some exciting news that will only help to bolster this already stunning comeback.
It is a great day for East Grand Bahama because it's been a long time coming. And so on behalf of the government, I want to congratulate BTC and congratulate the residents of East Grand Bahama who now will finally have this much needed service to their community.
We made the right decision in Dominic Petty as our head of Grand Bahama. And one of the first conversations he had with me was, Samir, let's bring fiber, let's finish the job in McLeanstown. He set out to do it. We all approved it. It's my pleasure to be here to share this moment with you today.
I want to congratulate BTC for the diligent and hard work that they have been putting in. I want to say thank you on behalf of all of the residents of East Grand Bahama for them putting fiber into this area. As I understand it, the police station is already connected, which again is essential for safety services. The clinic also is already connected, which again is essential for health services. To have the level of service and to have the levels of speed, I think is a game changer.
Now with the rollout of fiber, residents and businesses alike are experiencing firsthand what we mean by faster, stronger, more reliable, together, BTC unstoppable. I'm Corval Pyfro. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Fiber is here. Sign up today at btcbahamas.com.
it's a wrap for the Black Point Regatta, but by all accounts, it was a success. You see, apart from the sloop sailing, there was much to do ashore. Charles Fisher reports.
They made a big splash jumping into the water for the swim competition. 2 divisions, under 20 and under 14. A short swim from the shore to the dock, but they were real tiresome for the under 20 winner, Samson Roker.
When I get by that boat right there in the front, I had to catch cramp, and I was blown, but I had to still keep pushing until I get to the line.
What technique did you use?
To be honest, my technique was speed, to be honest, but, I just excited that I win.
A strong swim by Corville Delancey in the under 14, but he too a bit tired.
I almost lose because I started cramping, or near to started cramping, that's why I had to stop. I almost lost, it was crazy.
But do you swim every day?
Not every day, but occasionally, yeah.
Now to the crafty ladies on the island, straw plaiting at its best. 10 minutes on the clock to see who could weave the longest plait, and winning again and again was Michelle Kemp from Black Point.
I've been in the plaiting competition for the past maybe 5 or more years, and every year I've won. I've came first every year. I'm looking for another person to compete with, but I can't find nobody. So anybody who think they could, just come test me, they can come now. I'm ready to take them on.
And when I say she is fast, she is fast.
Love plaiting. This is something I just love doing. And so my fingers just move like lightning.
Do you do this as a profession?
No. It's not just a little side thing, just something I like to do, but it's not my profession.
How did you learn it?
I learned from a little girl growing up in Black Point. Yes, my mother and grandparents, they taught me.
Then it came to chowing down on sweet pineapples, and these youngsters surely enjoy the treat. And would you guess the smallest person in the competition, all the way from Eleuthera, winning the top prize, Tanea Patton.
Basically, I take it after my cousin, because in Eleuthera we like to eat pineapple.
Mm-hmm. So you eat a lot at home?
So.
All right, and how do you feel to win the competition?
I feel very good. I hope my mom be proud of me.
Okay, what are you going to do with this $50 now?
Put it inside my piggy bank.
And buy what?
A phone.
For the Bahamas tonight, with a sweet treat, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, a real good story there, Charles. It's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. We have near clear skies, just a few clouds floating around. Temperature at 88 degrees, the relative humidity 70%. We have east-southeast winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.0 millibars, that's 30.04 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 87 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Key, and the Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The Berry Islands at 88 degrees. Allenstown, Bimini, 87, 88 in Harbor Island. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 87 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space at Andros at 89 degrees. 88 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Artistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma registering 87 degrees at this hour, and that extends into Regatta Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Acklands, and Matthew Tiny Nagua, the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. Tonight through Thursday, in the northwestern parts of our country, you can anticipate southeast to south winds at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And those winds will be falling light and variable at times. Low tide will occur at 8:50 tonight, with another low tide at 8:53 tomorrow morning. Now for the central and southeastern islands through Thursday, the wind southeasterly at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. So we're posting caution flags for boaters in the central and southeastern islands through Thursday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
My mommy made sure that I was vaccinated because she loves me.
Getting our precious little ones vaccinated protects them from so many diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Vaccines are safe and effective. Immunizations can prevent illnesses and even death. Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Hi everyone, when heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back and accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, or Palm Beach. Now there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up, or the Jeep Compass seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check on a Tuesday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Hoops News taking center stage this evening as, once again, Team Bahamas going through another round of scrimmages against the University of Kansas, this time hoping for a different result. Let's take a look. Our men's national basketball team back in action again yesterday in Puerto Rico. The squad facing off against the Kansas Jayhawks for the second of their two scrimmages against the NCAA's top-ranked program. Team Bahamas debuting new addition Eric Gordon to the lineup. They were able to get the job done this time around after losing in Game 1. They would take the victory here in the second matchup, 87-81. Buddy Hield leading the scoring for the Bahamas. He finished with 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Eric Gordon and Franco Miller would score 12 apiece, and A.J. Storr at 11, with David Nesbitt chipping in with 10. The squad now headed to Argentina for the FIBA pre-Olympic qualifiers. Speaking of national teams, the Bahamas has announced its 11-member IAAF World Athletics Championship team. That'll compete in the Budapest, Hungary Games, August 19th through 27th. Taking a look at the squad on the female side, Anthony Strawn, Devin Charlton, Charisma Taylor, Rayma Odabar. The men made up of Laquan Nairn, Shaquem Smith, Donald Thomas, Alonzo Russell, Terrence Jones, and Stephen Gardner. To some sailing with the Black Point Regatta now in the books. Charles Fisher was there from start to finish and breaks it down.
These are the trophies that were up for grabs after 3 days of sailing. This regatta once again in honor of a legend, the late Captain Lundy Robertson. This boat on regatta site showing his many titles. For the first time in the 60-year history of the regatta, there were A-class boats on the water. Just 2, Rough Justice out of Long Island and Silent Partner from Black Point. And it was the crew captained by Stephen Knowles winning every race, taking the title back to Long Island. Over the Class C, where there were 13 sloops, and to no one's surprise, Sassy Sue and Stephen taking the overall title. One of the race coordinators, Clyde, rolled nothing but praise for perhaps the best skipper in the country.
who, in my opinion now, is the premier skipper in the country. And not to say bragging, but Stefan is one of the person who came up as my protege. Stefan and I went to Boston in the year 2000, and we won a championship. I was his bowman. He was only, I think, 14, and he won the championship over a person who had won 8-time back-to-back champion, and Stefan beat him there. And when he came back to Nassau, I told the public and the Long Island guys that he's going to be the best sailor to ever come out of Long Island. And it's proven now. Not only Long Island, he's probably the best in the country right now. And for him to beat his protege, that's fine. It makes me feel good when I see the young guys coming up.
H2O, who won last year, had to settle for second with the veteran Efford Kemp at the tiller.
Because I'm the oldest one in the fleet. I'm 80 years old. August will make me, 22nd make me 81. So they want me to retire, but I think I'm sail until I say I can stop.
Widdy K and Mark Knowles coming in third. Slaughter came in fourth. Fifth was Sacrifice. Raging Bull sixth. Ashley B and Larry Bastian seventh. Patton Pride was eighth. Lady Eunice ninth. Legal Weapon 10th. Uncle John finished 11th. Chaser 12th. And Crazy Partner, after a slow start on day number 1, finished 13th. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
And that's your check on sports for you here on this Tuesday. Don't go anywhere. Weather's coming up.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Harry's Fabrics and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school. Find ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for all schools in the Bahamas. Carrie's also sells skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boys' shorts, and pants. You can even have your uniform skirts custom made. Also find school bags, school supplies, socks, and underwear. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Call 393-0758.
Don't think these mud tubes look threatening? Think again. There are signs that a large-scale termite invasion is already underway, advancing through a property, costing thousands of dollars in damages. If you're building, you need Termafilm, a revolutionary pre-construction termite treatment from Regatta Initial. Termafilm is a polyethylene film treated with termiticide that's applied prior to the foundation of a building. It's easy to install and forms a long-term termite barrier without contaminating soil or groundwater. Before you build, trust Termafilm pre-construction termite treatment, only from Regatta Initial.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Everyone hates a dead car battery. Why not get a battery that lasts and has a 12-month warranty and is only $64.50? Intercontinental batteries are made with German technology, compatible with Japanese, US, and European vehicles, and adapts to warm climates. All right, good to go. These batteries are high quality, affordable, innovative, and only available at AID. Visit us online or WhatsApp us at 427-0026. AID, all you really need and more.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics remain quiet, and it will remain that way for the next few days. And then we have this area of high pressure that's reaching right across the Bahamas and far into the western Gulf of Mexico. That will maintain stable conditions across the islands over the next several days. As far as tonight is concerned, we are looking at clear to partly cloudy conditions, still very warm with your low temperature around 82 degrees. And tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny to mostly sunny. Very hot again tomorrow, high temperature around 92 degrees, heat index in the vicinity of 108 degrees tomorrow. So very steamy conditions, and the extended weather forecast, the stable conditions will continue right through Friday, but come Saturday, we'll have a tropical wave working its way through the area, and that will produce some heavy cloud cover with scattered showers and thunderstorms taking place, some of which will be heavy at times, but that will clear out quite rapidly as we head into Sunday. We'll see variable cloudiness heading into the early part of next week. Kishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. And before we leave, a show of bipartisan politics at today's Emancipation Day activities, as members of Parliament on both sides of the political divide visited various venues throughout the historic Fox Hill. Carla Palmer reports.
If only for the day, leaders of the two major political parties in the country set aside their political differences in observance of the Emancipation Day holiday and Fox Hill Day being observed this Tuesday. Both Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, and Opposition Leader Michael Pintard, along with other dignitaries, making the official rounds at various churches in the Fox Hill community. It's an event initiated by the Progressive Liberal Party government that for them has become a part of national policy. As Member of Parliament for Fox Hill, the Honourable Fred Mitchell tells it.
Marking this occasion every year, and in the modern iteration of this, we've been coming in these kinds of celebrations since 1988. This is the only settlement in our country that actually has elevated the issue of the celebration of African culture to the levels that we do. And we do this every year in August. This Baptist tradition has existed since the 1870s.
The events are in celebration of the 189th anniversary of the abolition of slavery in 1834. And so, with the joy in their hearts and praise in their mouths, songs, poems, and dances were rendered in remembrance and thanksgiving. Prime Minister Davis says the government has a mandate to enlighten and empower through education, while simultaneously making opportunities available for Bahamians.
It is important to pause to reflect. It's important to pause to pull back that curtain and try to see how far we've come. Those days of oppression, of slavery, the days of colonialism and oppression, and to this day where, again, we still have to struggle to ensure that we, as a people, achieve what we can without obstacles and challenges. As government, we have that responsibility to ensure that each and every one of the citizens are not challenged to achieve what they need to achieve. We have the responsibility of knocking down all barriers so that we open you to be what you want to be.
Opposition Leader Pintard also noted the importance of celebrating our history.
The reality is we were not merely slaves. We were a free people who were enslaved, having built civilizations throughout the continent of Africa. In fact, we arrived in this part of the world before Columbus got lost and found himself in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
St. Paul's Baptist Church, Macedonia Baptist Church, Mount Cary's Union Baptist, and St. Mark's Native Baptist Church all participate in the Fox Hill Day services each year. After celebrating a month-long of activities, the annual church services here in Fox Hill brought it all to an official close. In Fox Hill, I'm Carla Palmer for the Bahamas Tonight.
Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.